So I'm no great shakes as a fabricator. I can do it, but that would have been nicer with a big hole saw, which I do have, but sometimes I have trouble drilling those without catching them and just throwing all over the place. So anyway, I'm getting away from the double tube that I was gonna do, and I got thinking it through and thought, you know, this will be just fine for what I'm doing. I can always add a second one later if this is not quite enough. So anyway, let's get this thing on here. Now this pipe will burn through really quick, so all I do with it, I just tack around it, and it never looks beautiful, but I can usually get it to seal up halfway decent, at least for what we're doing. Real welders out there are going to wonder, what is he doing? Oh, nasty welds. Alright, so you guys can tell my welding skills are always in need of improvement, and practice and welding pipes together is always something that I have a hard time with without burning through the pipes. I can weld plate steel and angle pretty well. That's never been a problem for me, but when it comes to pipe, putting pipe together like that, I have a hard time controlling my heat and all that good stuff. But and it always comes out looking like trash. But I'm willing to live with it if you are. So we are working on the 2-year right now. And it's going to look something kind of like this. This will go on there. We'll weld this on. I was going to do 2 of them, but I got looking at the size of the pipe. I'm going to have to grind this a little flatter before I weld it so it's straight on there. So this will go on there. The blower is going to hook to that. I'm going to have to make a bracket for that. On the bottom here, a lot of people put flappers. I'm going to clean these threads up here, and I'll get a black iron cap for it, and then weld a piece of rebar or something on it so we have something to grab onto. But so far it's getting there, slowly but surely. Let's see how this bottom's going to fit on. I've got a feeling I'm going to have some grinding to do on this one. Like I said, you guys can say it, it's alright. I know there's a lot of professionals on here that know a lot more about metalworking than I do and welding. That's why you never hear me say this is how you weld, because I am just not, I can do it and I'm learning, but I have a long way to go. Now let's see how we get here. That's what it's going to look like. Let me pull the camera here. So that'll be the bottom of her. Now this is 1/2-inch plate, so it should hold up pretty well. We'll see how that goes. I tell you what, these short evenings, you don't get nearly as much done as you want to. I've got a lot of grinding, a lot of cleanup, a lot of that stuff to do yet. You wonder why there's so many parts to all of my projects, you know, video-wise. It's because I try to do daily things, you know, and it's always a process I'm trying to give you here. It's always something of that nature. But so that's why I do it in this style. And it works nice for me, and it kind of keeps me motivated to keep going on my projects, because I know I'm going to want to show you guys what we're doing and how we're doing it. But I want to get this all ground so it's all the same around, because then I'm going to have to put some pieces, weld them on flat, so I could set it in the top, because I want to be able to pull this out. If this fire pot ever burns out, I have more than enough plate here to rebuild it. And so we'll see from there. So I got my heat a little bit hot on that one, welding this 1/2-inch. I thought I needed a little more than I did. I'm used to 1/4-inch plate, stuff like that. You know, I usually weld my 1/4-inch plate or 1/4-inch angle at 130 amps on the AC machine. I bumped this up to 160. It strikes the arc really easy that way, but I kind of burnt a little bit into her, a little more than I wanted to, but it's not going to go anywhere. I mean, it's not going to hurt anything. It's just not going to look as nice as I want it to, but there's going to be some grinding and some cleanup here to make this look nice, and probably a good amount of more welding at a lower heat just to kind of cap it all off, make it look halfway decent. Then, like I said, I want to get this all kind of flattened out. Now, we'll see what happens. Well, unfortunately, that is about all we have time for tonight, because I have to work construction the next few days. So you guys been following along for a while. You know when I have to do that, it's usually out the door quite a bit earlier. But we're gaining on it. We're gaining on all these projects all the time. I know I start a lot of projects, but I have to stay busy. You know, if it's raining out, I've got to be working on something. This is a process we're working towards here, trying to get this shop set up. And I tell you, it'll be kind of nice. The way the weather's been, I should probably have this built by the end of the week. Now, the weekend, we're supposed to get into the 50s and maybe even 60 with sunshine, if you can believe that. It'll probably take a good day to dry everything out, but then it looks like we have a week of nice weather coming, and if that holds out, oh boy, we're going to get a lot done. I cannot wait. So I'd like to get the top plates finished off now that they're both milled up. I'd love to get the rest of my queen post, like to get the rest of those bent stood up on the second floor, and then we're on to purlin plates, and after purlin plates, rafters and metal. Now the rafters, they're going to be just regular common rafters, 2x8, because the spans are really short because of the gambrel roof. so that'll meet my load calculations just fine. And I kind of like a little bit of a lighter, I like a lighter material load on the roof. You see a lot of the old, the massive timbered rafters. You see a lot of those old structures actually fail sometimes under the weight of the timbered rafters because they're just massive. And you think about just all that material weight and everything pushing out against your top plates and against your ties. Now, I mean, you can engineer them so they'll hold up just fine. I'm just telling you that based on what I've seen in the structures around here. I'm not saying it's wrong, but I kind of go on what I've seen myself firsthand. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. And don't forget our small channel collaboration, and I promised I'd do it every video for the next week until Friday night when we shout out the next 3 channels we're going to do. So we're looking at this week's channels are Wrenches and Boards, Fall Line Ridge, and Small Guy Workshop. Check those out. They might find some stuff you might like in there. So anyway, that said, have a good evening, guys. Welcome to all the new viewers, and I will see you on the next one.